Yo, I hope everyone is having an absolutely amazing day. I know I am, and today we are diving deep into the full Black Ops campaign story. From the end of World War II to a future filled with cyber wars and rogue AIs. This is one of Call of Duty's most intense and emotional stories, so buckle up and let's get into it. The story first begins in Call of Duty World at War during the final years of World War II, and it's brutal. We meet Sergeant Viktor Reznov, a Soviet leader who has been captured and tortured in a Nazi labor camp, who survives hellish conditions and helps lead a prison break alongside his comrade Dmitry Petrenko. Together, they rejoin the Soviet army and help push towards Berlin. Now, it's important to mention that Reznov isn't just a regular soldier. He's tough, fearless, and fueled by revenge, especially against the Nazi officer Heinrich Amsel and General Drakovich, who become very important later. The game then shifts to the Pacific, where we fight as a US Marine battling Japanese forces. These missions are gritty and intense, showing the horrors of war on both sides of the globe. And by the end, the Soviets take Berlin, and Reznov is still standing. But this isn't the last we see of him. His story and his traumas carry forward into the Cold War era. Welcome to the 1960s Cold War. We now follow Alex Mason, a CIA operative who has been captured by the Soviets. He's stuck in a dark room, being interrogated by a mysterious voice asking, "What do the numbers mean, Mason?" Flashbacks reveal that Mason was a part of top secret missions, from the Bay of Pigs invasion in Cuba to fighting in Vietnam and even breaking into the Soviet space facility. But the more we see, the less clear things become. Mason starts to lose track of what's real and what's not. That's when, you guessed it, Viktor Reznov shows up again. But here's the twist, he's not actually there. Mason is hallucinating him. Back in a Vorkuta prison, Reznov and Mason escape together, but only Mason made it out alive. Reznov's voice inside Mason's head is a side effect of the Soviet brainwashing. The Soviets then turned Mason into a sleeper agent. Their plan? Use him to assassinate US leaders and spark global chaos, all triggered by a secret numbers broadcast. Mason then fights to resist the programming with help from his allies like Frank Woods and Jason Hudson. In the climax, Mason breaks free from his brainwashing, tracks down the numbers station, and stops the attack. But the questions remain. Like, did Mason really kill John F. Kennedy? The ending leaves that up in the air. After the mind control games of Black Ops 1, we pick up in the early 1980s with Black Ops Cold War, a direct sequel that deepens the Cold War spy drama. You play as an operative, codenamed Bell, who is part of a CIA task force led by Hudson, Woods, and Mason. Their mission is to stop a mysterious Soviet agent known as Perseus, who's been trying to flip the balance of power by hijacking Operation Greenlight, a secret US nuke program hidden in European cities. But the real twist? Bell isn't who they seem. You discover you were once a Soviet agent captured and brainwashed by the CIA. Your memories were rewritten and your past is a lie. Eventually, you have to make a choice. Stay loyal to the CIA or betray them and help Perseus reshape the world. This game brings the series back to its roots: covert ops, double agents, and psychological manipulation. And it shows how the Cold War was fought just as much in the shadows as on the battlefield. Now we're back with an older Mason, alongside Frank Woods, who somehow survived being left for dead in the previous game. They're hunting a new threat, a drug lord named Raul Menendez. Menendez isn't just any villain though, he has a very tragic backstory. His sister, Josefina, was killed during a US raid, and Menendez blames the US government and the world's superpowers. He becomes the leader of a terror network called Cordis Dia, aiming to destroy global order. You'll travel through places like Afghanistan, Angola, and even Panama, seeing the rise of Menendez and the political mess left behind by US and Soviet interference in other countries. Black Ops 6 jumps back into the early 1980s again, overlapping some of the events from Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2, but this time the focus is on secret CIA agents working deep behind enemy lines. You're part of a team dealing with internal betrayal, double agents, and Cold War era mind games. The missions go beyond the battlefield. You're breaking into government facilities, uncovering files that were never meant to be found, and realizing that there are secret groups pulling the strings of world events. This game adds layers to the Black Ops story. It shows how fragile peace was during the Cold War, and how easily it could have all come crashing down. Now we blast forward to 2025. The world is full of drones, cyber attacks, and robotic soldiers. We follow David Mason, the son of Alex Mason, and he's a part of a new generation of Black Ops agents. And his main enemy is none other than Raul Menendez, still alive and now a master of digital warfare. Menendez takes control of US drones and launches attacks around the world, turning America's own weapons against itself. He manipulates the media and turns himself into a global symbol of rebellion. And the coolest part of this game, your choices matter. You can choose who lives or who dies. And depending on what you do, Menendez could end up in prison or dead or even free to finish his plan. The campaign challenges you to think about how power, revenge, and tech are all changing war, and what legacy you want to leave behind. Now we're deep in the future. Black Ops 3 is set in a world where soldiers have cybernetic implants that give them superpowers, like hacking into enemies or slowing down time. You play as a custom character in a team trying to stop rogue AI from taking over, but it's not that simple. As the story goes on, you start losing control of your own mind. Memories get twisted, reality breaks down, you're forced to question who you are, and if you're even human anymore. The story becomes more psychological than political. It's about identity, free will, and whether we can actually still be ourselves when machines are inside our heads. In the end, the AI stopped, but the world was left unsure if it can survive the next threat. This is probably the darkest chapter yet. Now on to Black Ops 4. Black Ops 4 doesn't have a regular campaign, but it massively expands the lore through multiplayer and especially zombies mode. Zombies takes us into alternate dimensions, ancient gods, and time travel. There are a lot of secret societies fighting over the powerful artifacts, and new characters who are either trying to reset or save reality itself. It's wild, it's complicated, and it turns Black Ops into more than just a military story. Now it's a mix of sci-fi, horror, and mystery. From the brutal trenches of World War II to the Cold War conspiracies, futuristic tech battles, and even some supernatural chaos, the Black Ops series is one of, if not Call of Duty's most connected and complex stories. It's not about just action, it's about revenge, control, legacy, and what it means to be human in a world where truth is always being manipulated. Whether you're here for characters like Mason, Woods, and Reznov, or the deeper themes about war and power, the Black Ops saga is unforgettable. Let me know which game is your favourite, and if you want a zombie story breakdown next, just let me know. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you are new, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one.